Well, hello table. It is Mystery Hippo. I was not planning to do a character breakdown or anything like that, but Morgan Elsbeth was released just a few minutes ago before I started recording. I did look through her kit. I'm not going to go like step-by-step breakdown of her kit, but she has a lot of interesting synergy, and I wanted to do a little bit of theory crafting for the Night Sisters. They did reveal that there's going to be like another mother, like another leader coming out. So Morgan Elsbeth is not a leader character, but she's a nice tank. Looking through her kit, which you can read on your own time on their new forums, she has a lot of health recovery and protection recovery for the entire squad. Generates a lot of stealth for her allies. So something I want to look at, which probably isn't good. You probably don't want to break up these squads. But going down this year, let's go to her unique. So her unique down here, one, you start off with extra stats, defense, health, protection, blah, 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 tenacity, all good stuff, and that's all fine. When ally stealth, you get critical damage up, which is fine. You want to crit a bunch with your team. When Morgan taunts, everybody recovers health, so you have a high chance to go from like max health down, like whatever percentage you want to say, and back to max. You constantly recover your health with this team. Also, with Night Sisters, I'll go through some of them over here in a second. You have a lot of health recovery options. So, let me show this here. And so this is the first time, so this will only happen once. So I was reading this earlier, and I thought it was every time a Night Sister ally dropped health, but that's only once per turn, or once per character. I thought it could infinitely stack. It doesn't infinitely stack, but man, you could get a ton of defense and a bunch of recovery and turn meter. But the real trick here is I have an idea for a team. Don't know if it's going to be good for Night Sisters. That will help her, generate a huge turn meter train. And this is kind of designed for, those accounts who that might have some Night Sisters, but they don't want to spend all this money on every new character because it just takes a lot of money, a lot of crystals, a lot of gear, a lot of Cairo. So kind of the idea of characters you might already have, and just adding Morgan to the roster could be huge. So the biggest thing with this character is, like her basic ability here. I mean, she causes some debuffs with the enemy team. She has a lot of stealth generation. She can cleanse your whole team. She can remove all the buffs on the enemy team. All good stuff. I mean, you can read it all, the exact kit, on your own time. The biggest thing for me is, generating the turn meter. So you can, one, generate her own here. That's great. But the bigger thing is, I was looking at is, I've always been curious about Asajj. I don't know if it's even good to break Asajj off Night Sisters. Sorry, excuse me. But look, you have 10 or you have 9 characters here. Adding Morgan will give you 10, not Trooper, I don't count. But you'll have 10 Night Sister characters. You have 2 squads without their addition of their newest character, which I have no idea when she's coming out. When the new Night Sister lead's coming out, no idea. It could be a month, could be 2 months, could be less than that. We're not sure. But we know Morgan's required for Balin's Skull, and I want Balin's Skull because I enjoy the character. So, can't put Morgan on Mother Talzin because it just destroys her ability to revive and all that stuff. Because Morgan Elsbeth kind of hurts the ability to revive. She eliminates any allies reviving. You can read that on the bottom of her unique. But with Asajj, I found it interesting. Because with her leadership, he put her Zeta on her leadership. You gain speed, offense is great because you're generating a lot of hits. And you gain 50% turn meter whenever an ally falls below 100% health. So, if you're always able to generate health and recover it back, so, ally gets damaged, immediately gets half their turn meter back, and you have a chance to remove the enemy's turn meter whenever they hit somebody. You could kind of do a version of Imperial Troopers where you're just removing turn meter all the time and generating so much turn meter for yourself. So if you look at Morgan Elsbeth, what was it here? So whenever an ally drops below 20% health, so it gets low, she's going to gain 30% turn meter. The ally who drop below health, it's going to generate turn meter, right? With this leadership. So once you lose health, I mean, this will be, you know, it could be 99%. But let's say you drop down to 14% health. You're going to generate 80% turn meter off that. This 50% turn meter is every time you lose a little bit of health. But if you're having so much health recovery from Night Sisters, I mean, you're going to be non-stop popping back up, doing turns, removing turn meter with Morgan. Because you're going to have this new squad. I guess we can just build a squad. Let's build a squad really fast. Don't mind all these squads. Let's create a new squad. Let's go Night Sisters. So theoretically, we could have our squad here. So we're not going to do... So we're going to have, let's say, Asajj, Sister Spirit, and then these two here, right? Initiate, Acolyte, and then Morgan right here. Let's say that's our squad, right? Actually, I think Talia's supposed to be on here too, right? You could throw in Talia somewhere into this mix. I have to look at her kit more. She doesn't have any uniques, but you could, like, you know, throw this in here. She deals damage, she heals. She also has a cleanse for debuffs on her allies. But she may not be the most important one. Be interesting to toy around with this squad. I've always wanted to use Initiate and Acolyte in the roster. But, you know, you can do something like this. You're generating stealths. You're basically constantly taunting with Morgan. I think Initiate has... Let's look at their kit and just see. So I'll base off her unique. When she has full health, which will happen a lot because of Morgan Elsbeth. She has something counter chance. You also have heals from Asajj. If she's not at full health, she does double damage basically, which is huge, which is great. Open slice, damage over times, blah blah blah, whatever. Severing strike, buff immunities. So it's more buff immunities. Cut down, it's more damage, but you know, she could dish out law, damage law, turn meter with her. Acolyte recovers health on each critical hit, so she's attacking a lot, always in stealth. She'll always be in stealth. She'll always have more offense. So this could be an interesting idea. Something I might play around with is using Asajj as a lead because, I mean, you can put her with these Night Sisters here. I don't know. I don't get a lot of use of her that way. I mean, really here, I mean, you're just throwing out Plague and debuffs. I mean, really, Talia wasn't really fit here either. I don't know. I just thought it'd be an interesting idea to break apart the Night Sister squad and use Asajj lead because she really has no use right now as a leader. But I mean, her kit's not bad. It's just there's better things for her. And I thought of that, the constant healing from Morgan, because she's going to generate so much health recovery, protection recovery. And doing that over and over again, you're going to generate so much turn meter for your Night Sisters that basically they're going to be running non-stop. A Rampage, I mean, I'm not going to go and get her. Well, I guess you could GA. GAC Omicron. I've not looked at it yet, so I really don't know what it does. I mean, see here. Let's look at just this basic one first. Let's go to through 8. When an ally or enemy is defeated, she gets stronger. And she gets more speed when there's no enemy buffs. So with Morgan Elsbeth, you're going to have a chance to cleanse buffs all the time, which then makes Asajj faster all the time. Doing damage a lot faster. Generating heals for your team with Strike Fear. Strike Fear. Dispel all buffs also. Heal your allies. I mean, you're going to have a lot of chance to make Asajj super fast. Super tanky. All your Night Sisters recovering health, doing damage. Countering, getting offensive ups, and Endless Wrath. Yeah, just this is a damage dealer. This is whatever. Cruel Strike. I mean, you get some stuns here, which is nice. But if you're generating a couple stuns here and there, Cruel Strike, you're creating turn meter all the time. I mean, you just run a TM train on certain lineups. I'm gonna be very interested to. I don't know if I'm gonna wail on Morgan or not. I might, because I do want Balin's Skull. I'll have to figure out how much I want to spend and all that stuff, how she's going to be farmable, stuff like that. But, because, I mean, Night Sisters are fine, but they're easily countered. They're not always the strongest. I don't have Marin up yet, so there really is not the strongest combo in the world. I do plan to gear her eventually. But if you're a lower tier account, like you got some Night Sisters, you have Initiate and Acolyte because they're super easy to farm. Yes, you got Night Sister Spirit from whatever store it is nowadays. You have an Asajj. Plug in Morgan Elsbeth here. I mean, this is going to be I feel like a tanky team, unless a team has, like, tonic Nors and stuff. But even then, like, if someone dies, I mean, the whole team gets stronger. They're going to have stealth, protection up, more defense, stacking, all this stuff. So, I mean, it could be a scary team. I just thought it'd be an interesting idea to go around and look at. Let's look at Morgan Elsbeth a little bit, just because she was just released. So I guess I will go through her kit a little bit. Move my mic away from my face a smidge. But her animations do look pretty sick. Yeah, but where does it say that? So she'll be a marquee starting on July 18th. She does have, let's see here, so no current Datacron exclusive, but she will have a Night Sister set coming up. She prevents reviving, so that way she won't be just added on to increase the power of Mother Talzin, which is cool. I mean, that's fine. We don't need all these revives. The Great Mother's coming soon. Don't know anything about them yet. It could be that they are just such a great leadership that no reason for Asajj. But the Great Mothers could be, you want to use not Mother Talzin. I keep saying her name. You want to use Morgan right now and to boost some, secondary Night Sister teams, which I could even say this could be, depending on how efficient the turn meter train becomes with this, in my hypothetical team right now, because I don't have her to really utilize and test out yet. I mean, you may not even want to try to focus on farming the Great Mother if this team's already good enough. I mean, it might not be good as... I'm sorry, I can't speak right now, guys. It's late. It might not be as good as the Great Mother leader team would be. But if you're a newer account and you can't farm the Great Mother yet because of wherever she's put on, or you don't want to wait for it, you already have Asajj up and running, or like myself, you bought the Night Sister bundle whenever it came out, you have them all ready to go, so just throw in one more character and you have a nice healthy tank to absorb damage, create stealth for your team, which increases damage for them, heals them up all the time. So let's just go through her Morgan's kit really fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because it's not the main focus of the video. I just kind of want to run through and kind of show you all the heals and protection increases that you have. So her basic, I mean, you're going to be using this quite a bit for the most part. Getting defense up, protection up makes her super tanky. She's going to have some reactive taunts that she can do, so she'll always be taking damage. If the target you hit is already hit by defense down, which she can generate somewhere in her kit, can't remember where, you give stealth to an ally. So basically you're always be stealthing your allies. I inflict vulnerable, so they're going to take more damage from you, all that good stuff. Her first special, my loyalty, my life. You dispel all buffs on all enemies. That's a huge cleanse. That's going to give Asajj more speed, let her do more hits, more stuns, all that stuff. So that's beautiful right there. And she's not the only one with a dispel. The other Night Sisters have dispels too, so that's going to be quite nice. And all Night Sister allies recover 50% health and protection, and they get defense pin up. So you're going to have characters healing up, doing more damage, all the goodies right there. And if she's taunting, they also gain turn meter and tenacity up. So you have a lot of options here to gain turn meter. I just think that throwing her onto a Night Sister team led by Asajj would be a great team, or I don't know if a great team, but a useful team for those accounts who just don't have a Great Mother, don't want to invest probably the 300-400 Cairo plus into Great Mother. I have no idea what her gear requirements will be. I'm sure it's going to be outrageous. And if you're like me, I don't have the Cairo to spare on a crazy character that's not even out yet. I have other characters that I want instead, other teams, other journeys. I'm not some, 10 million plus account that already has all this stuff. I'm still trying to... I spend every Cairo I get. When I get a Cairo, it goes right into a unit. So my Gungans are almost geared up. That's what I'm working on right now. And then I'll be working on Balin and this character, and I just don't have all the Cairo needed. So I don't think I can... I think I'd rather just invest in one character here, boost a team that I already have that's lower requirements, less gear requirements, and just try to ramp them up and have them go crazy, and maybe get some surprising holds in GAC when people will expect, oh, this is a Asajj lead Night Sister team. Easy, I'll roll this, and they have to go like 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly can't even break through it. So yeah, I think it could be one of those teams that gives you some surprising holds when your enemy does not understand what they're fighting against. Letting on pass, another one that has an Omicron. I believe it's GAC. Yeah, Grand Arena. Yep. So we already read up her cleanse, which is awesome. So this next special is deal physical damage to target enemy, blind them, which is useful. Put them in armor shred. This is nice if your allies are getting weaker and trying to heal them. You can blind the enemy, then heal all your allies next time. Put them in armor shred for rest of the encounter, which I love armor shred. It's you got a enemy team that's a tank that you just can't quite kill. Armor shred them to death. You'll do so much damage. And then you call everybody to assist, which is also good. I mean, it's just more damage. If you defeat an enemy, then you blind everybody for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted, which is super nice, basically for 2 turns, unless they cleanse it, which is possible. They just are useless. They can't hit you. Super nice. And GAC, I know this, I'm not an expert on this, but I know this is really good. You stagger, you expose, buff immunity, fantastic. You just can't gain buffs, unless it's cleansed, of course, but buff immunity is super nice. When enemies aren't buffed, what happens? Asajj gets more speed. She does more damage. She can do more things. So, that's super cool to have. If target enemy is inflicted with defense down, which you get from her basic, I believe, all allies deal more damage, and the cooldown of their abilities is decreased by 1. Oh, when you use this ability. I was like, when does their abilities get decreased? So when you use this, if they already have defense down, you decrease your cooldown of all your abilities, and if you remember this ability up here, you dispel all buffs. You constantly have Asajj just running like 300 plus speed on people all the time. I haven't done the math. It could be different than that, but you know, you're getting speed from her leadership, from her unique on Asajj. I believe you get turn meter from this kit and also the kit of all the other characters. So it's just, I don't know, man. I thought this character could be very interesting to use on an Asajj lead team, especially if you don't want to wail on the Great Mothers, whatever that is down the road. Also, this character is useful for Balin's Skull, super useful to gear up now. So I'm definitely considering maybe investing in this character just to try her out with Asajj and see what happens. It sounds like it could be quite the joyride. But yeah, another unique, just only a Zeta on this last unique. This is basically like encouragement to pump in some relics into her. Start a battle, all your allies that are Night Sisters gain critical chance, defense, max health, tenacity, max protection. All good, makes them tankier, makes them do a little more damage, resist more. Which is great, because if they're going really fast and train turn meter, I mean, this will just decimate. I mean, this will make them even tankier, so. Whenever an ally stealths, which will happen all the time, they gain crit damage for a turn, and Morgan taunts. And all allies recover health. So basically, you're constantly getting more health, or health recovery. You're constantly doing a little bit more damage. And Morgan is constantly taunting. I mean, this is going to happen. As long as you get a turn, this will happen non-stop. I don't see why this will not happen. I mean, if you don't outspeed your enemy, I mean, you will eventually get stealths and taunts and things, but you definitely want to be able to go pretty fast. The faster you can go, the better I see this team being. And you're going to have a lot of speed help from Asajj. And whenever you gain Foresight, which I don't think happens with any of the characters right now on Night Sisters, so that's probably only going to be with the Great Mothers, you recover protection. But we don't necessarily always want a ton of protection recovery because we want to be triggering Asajj's leadership, so that's okay if we don't get Foresight. I don't think anybody generates Foresight. I can double check that really fast. And then whenever Night Sisters critically hits an enemy, you inflict defense down. So that's going to happen a lot, so that's where the defense down comes into play. So this is going to happen every time you basically hit somebody, because you're going to have a lot of crit chance, a lot of turns, a lot of attacks coming into play. So ideally, it's going to happen all the time. So defense down will then trigger... Where is it at? Will then trigger more stealths for all your non-tanks. So basically, even if you're not having tank active, or not taunting, if she's not taunting, basically every other character will be stealthed. So that's interesting to know. Whenever they fall below, yeah, they gain Foresight. So they do gain Foresight from Morgan whenever they drop really low health. But I mean, Ideally, not going to happen because you don't want them to be that low in health. They're going to die for that low, most likely. But also with stealth in too, Morgan against even tankiers. I mean, you want it to happen a couple times, I guess, but if they can never get you that low because they can never take enough turns or whatever it might be, then, I mean, heck. I mean, this will be nice to have as the encounter continues, but ideally you won't need this defense up. Whenever Morgan is defeated, inflict all enemies with health down. All Night Sister allies recover all their health and protection, gain crit avoidance and defense, plus additional 10% critical avoidance per relic amplifier. So if you had 9, they have 95% crit avoidance, which is huge. So basically, you just couldn't be critted anymore. So that'd be almost a team had like, a ton of critical chance bonuses. And then whenever Morgan taunts, all allies recover health and protection. So this is gonna be huge. This is gonna happen. She's gonna taunt a bunch. So basically, if you take a lot of turns, cover health protection and gain offense until she loses taunt. So she only covers this whenever, maybe every time she gains taunt, she will recover health and protection, which could be really nice. And she gains all this. I can't tell that she gains all this until she loses taunt. So maybe you could theoretically never lose taunt. Not sure how that's going to work. That could be interesting to play with if she never loses taunt, but she keeps regaining it. They keep giving her taunt from different sources. Will she just keep getting more and more offense? That's something that I could test out. That'd be interesting to test. Or is this like a one-time thing? You gain taunt even if you regain taunt again? I don't know. Something to check out for, I guess. Check out in her kits. Be very interesting, but yeah, it's kind of her kit. I mean, defeated allies can't be revived, so you can't use like Daka or can't use Daka or I can't speak right now. Mother Talzin. Let's look at our Night Sisters really fast here. So using Daka for revives won't work. I mean, you could still use the character, but probably not the most efficient use of the character. You can't use Mother Talzin for revives, but Asajj, these two guys, you could probably replace Initiate, I guess. Maybe not. So she has full health. She has counter chance. I'm not going to be doing a lot of countering. You kind of want her to hover a little bit below full health, but I mean, she might be taking some damage. Severing Strike. I mean, it's just kind of more damage buff immunities, which is good for generating speed for Asajj. Critical chance up, also nice. You want to be critting all the time. A lot of damage over time, which is also useful. Just to help knock people down. And you could stack that. I mean, if you're going so fast and you're doing just like, a ton of turn meter generation, I mean, you could stack a lot of dots on people and just have them melt themselves on their turn. I don't remember the actual math on dots, but that could be something that's interesting. I believe Asajj has turn meter reduction too, right? For each buff dispelled, that enemy has a 50% chance to lose turn meter. So you have a chance to reduce cooldowns on this. You have a chance to remove buffs, or not a chance, you remove all buffs. You have a chance to remove turn meter, and you're always gaining turn meter pretty consecutively. So this is definitely going to be a squad that I try out. I might dish out for Morgan. Could be something useful to do. I'm definitely encouraged to test this out. I enjoy this game when you can try different things. Because if you put Morgan on, Asajj lead, Mother Talzin would be what? Mother Talzin, Zombie, Daka, Marin, that's 4 units. 5th unit, I mean, I guess you could throw in one of these guys if you wanted to. Maybe Talia. Not there, sorry. Target enemy, she's below full health. I mean, you generate health for your Night Sisters. Water of Life. Just all buffs on Night Sister allies. I mean, that's something to be like, throw in on a Mother Talzin team instead, just because you're taking off Asajj. I guess on my Night Sister team, I feel like Asajj doesn't do enough. I don't know. I mean, you could throw in any Night Sister with Mother Talzin, I guess. I'm not a expert Night Sister user, because I only recently got them, but, got all this. Got potency, speed, special ability like Plague, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, interesting stuff. You got heals and you want Tally to do damage. Could be useful to have 2 teams that way. Especially if you don't want to go Great Mother route, because that's a big investment, and I can only guess how much courage she has. But yeah, that's my video for the day. I just want to do a little theory crafting and think of, you know, possible units, possible options to do with Morgan. I am a big Night Sister fan. I like the mechanics of them. This is a squad that I wanted since I began the game, but you know, I kind of went around them because I realized there was other teams I wanted. But if you're an account that has this Lightspeed bundle, or maybe you were just, you know, you got Asajj up because you're going for gas. You got a couple other of these Night Sisters a long time ago because they were easy to acquire. But man, throw Morgan there, you know. Put some focus on farming her whenever she's free to play, and I can see that being a very scary team. I'm definitely excited to try it out. Put a little bit of player focus, trial and error on that team, but we'll see. Guys, until next time, may the force be with you. Enjoy your rosters, experiment, and try new things. That's the best part of the game, is when they add new characters that you can test out for yourself and try different combinations. And yeah, enjoy GHC 3v3s, baby.